You haven't seen the new Monster Hunter movie, have you? Tell me you haven't, Todd.
I want to.
Don't.
I want to. I saw T.I. and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be real bad.
So, oh my god, I watched that. Okay, so let's have a little story time. I went up to Pennsylvania to visit Teresa and Frank.
Okay.
So we
Teresa
went and saw.
moved?
Well, yeah, she had to.
Oh.
Probably some roommate stuff happened and whatnot. But yeah, so she's back in Pennsylvania, and I went up to visit her and Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and watched Godzilla vs. Kong. Fantastic film, by the way. Fantastic film. I liked King of the Monsters, but honestly, I think GVK did a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I liked King of the Monsters just because it had Ghidorah and Mothra and Rodan.
Yes.
Especially Mothra. Mothra's my favorite monster.
Rodan's mine.
Dude, he was a crackhead in that film.
I know.
He was a crackhead.
He was like, I'll kick anyone's ass.
Yeah. He's like Starscream. He was a lot like Starscream.
Starscream's my favorite Transformer.
Oh, there you go.
Insubordinate motherfucker.
So we went and saw GVK in theaters, and we loved it. And then right after we got Monster Hunter from the Red Box, I said, I'm not spending $1 on that. And I spent $1 on it. It's better than spending $9 to go see it in theaters, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had bought a ton of sake from the Tensuke market up in northern Columbus.
Yeah.
And I was bringing just like a bunch of Japanese snacks up to Teresa. She's like, bring me some squid jerky. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we got a bunch of sake. And then we went to a liquor store in Pennsylvania and we bought a bunch of liquor. So we got super blitzed and watched Monster Hunter. And it is the most painful movie to sit through. It is awful.
Like,
if you have vertigo, you will be dizzy by the end of this film. Not even halfway through.
Really?
It is awful. So, acting aside, because all the actors were awful in this film. Like, I love Ron Perlman, but like his character in this film was awful. It was so bad.
Dude, Ron Perlman's the shit.
Wait, what was it?
Mila.
Oh, I hate her. I hate her. I watched all of the Resident Evil films, and I can safely say the first one is probably the best, and the rest of them were absolutely the worst.
Easily,
It's just a spit in the face of the franchise, which is what Monster Hunter did.
Yeah.
It is awful. And
That's almost like
the pacing of the film alone was the worst I've ever seen.
Really?
Todd, I'm not kidding, dude. The pacing was so quick. Like, there were characters moving, and then the camera pans immediately to someone else doing something, and then it does slow-mo, and then it does speed up, and then it does another jump cut. It does, like, jump cuts, like, every second. I'm surprised how many camera angles they had in this film.
Sounds like it was made for the TikTok audience.
It was made for meth heads. It was
I'll
made
take
for
that.
someone that's amped up on drugs and just really wants an experience.
Dude, I'll take like a handful of Adderall and sit on the top of the couch and watch it. Just clenching my jaw like, yeah!
And just the guy, what's the guy that directed it? What's his name again? Paul W.S. Anderson. He is not only an awful director for having his wife in every one of his movies, but
like Burton?
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like Tim Burton stuff.
I love Tim Burton stuff.
But man, the Paul W.S. Anderson, I feel like that's like his kink, is watching his wife like get her shit kicked in on screen, because she's always getting her shit kicked in all of the movies she's in. In Resident Evil, she's getting beat up. In Monster Hunter, she's getting tossed around by monsters. And I feel like he's just like, yeah. And there was just a really gross scene.
You put the toilet seat down, bitch.
There's just this really gross scene where in Monster Hunter World, in the game that a lot of people have played on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, what have you, there is a character called the Meowscular Chef, and he is just a ripped cat that cooks for people. Like, and he's just one of the best characters of the game, because he just cooks you food. That's it.
Yeah.
He's just like this totally like buff guy that you could imagine going out and killing a monster with his bare paws. He's like this tall, but he's ripped, he's missing an eye, and all he just does is make giant steaks for you. And in this film, they made him like this really scrawny, ugly, like ratty looking cat.
Almost like Squanch.
Yes.
Oh.
And they gave him like a really just default like boring cat meow, like a really high pitched cat meow. And in the games he's like a really raspy like roar, like kind of like a growl.
Yeah.
But in this they gave him like just default cat noise voices, which they do for the normal palicos in the game. But there's this really gross scene where he like winks at Mila, and like he's like flirting with her, and she's like just whatever. And I'm just like, Paul W.S. Anderson wrote that scene in himself.
Yeah.
You know it. You know he's into that.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
And it is such a bad movie. They portray all of the characters are assholes. And I'm saying there's not a single character in this movie that is redeemable via personality. They even take good characters in the games, like nice characters that you know would be like a total bro to hang out with.
Yeah.
And they just turn them into such pieces of shit. Ron Perlman's character is an asshole. But the best scene is when he punches Mila Jovovich in the face. It's in the trailer too. Like it's the best.
This is what you have to look forward to.
Yeah. It's the best scene in the whole movie because he saves her from like a monster or whatever, and she's like, "Thank you," and he says, "Don't thank me yet." And he just goes, "What?" Like it's. It is the best scene in the whole film, and that's really saying something.
I think I rewatched yesterday. I was watching The Ritual. I was watching that last night.
That's a
Yes,
good movie.
Shit.
I love that movie.
That was a fantastic film.
Dude, and when he was sneaking out of that cabin and and the lady was at the bottom of the stairs, he was just like, pat. Dude, and Wicker Man.
Wicker Man. I haven't seen Wicker Man in like probably 14 years.
Dude.
I saw that when I was a kid, and that like kind of, it didn't scar me because I was mentally kind of like too hyper to really watch all like the scary scenes that happened in it.
Yeah.
But like I have been quoting Not the Bees for like 14 years
Yes.
of my life. It is just like, it's just there. It's in my brain.
Also, I watched this really scary movie last night. Well, it wasn't really scary, but it was really, really, really good. It's called Don't Listen. It's on Netflix. It's Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Dude, the film, like the filming and like the directing, like it's amazing. Like you have to watch it. Like I watched it and I was pretty stoned, and it had me like looking and checking for bumps and stuff around the house. Like if you know, like when your house is settling, you get that little.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was doing this right here, and looking out the front door, like. Definitely worth a check.
I don't even know why they made that movie so bad. It's still, I was blitzed out of my gourd eating squid jerky pizza and just chugging like bottles of booze. Like I was drinking rum and Coke.
Ooh,
and I was drinking the
that's
new
my poison.
There's the new Coke coffee, the coffee Coke. And I got some of that and tried it with it. It's fantastic.
Really?
It is really.
I had their energy Coke. Like that was really good.
I was just I'm wondering if I still have the scar. I was walking to the bathroom. I don't know if I still have it, but I got a gash on my leg where I like tripped and like fell onto like a corner that just Teresa's basement has like a bar area. Yeah. And it's not like they're using it for like the bar or anything, but like there's like a ledge that sticks out at the floor where it was like a really sharp corner, and I barely grazed it, and it didn't hurt, didn't anything. It started bleeding, of course, and I was like, great, that's nice. And then it scarred over and scabbed for like a month.
Shit.
Like, I was like, how in God's name? Am I not getting enough iron? What's going on here? And, like, it was, God, and I was laughing it off, too. Like, I was sitting there, like, we all had a bunch of air mattresses on the floor. So we were all just, like, laying on air mattresses watching Monster Hunter on a TV, like, way up high.
Yeah.
And Frank loves Monster Hunter. Like, this is probably his religion. He's sitting there like, I can't do this anymore, Hayden. I can't. Like, he was sober too throughout the entire film, and I really kept like trying to pass the ball to him, and he's like, I can't do booze. I can't do booze. I'm like, dude, you're gonna need booze. You're gonna need booze. He's like, Hayden, I don't know if I can do this anymore, man. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'm watching that movie tonight.
Make sure you get cranked, dude. I'm not kidding.